one, and we're live. Hi, everyone. I am back with Russell. We are looking at lists for roll call, which is this weekend, 12th and 13th of April. So we've picked out two lists each, me and Russell here. And the first one that we're going to look at is Ian's. So I'm going to share screen. By the way, I think I'll also share a link to the list so people can go and see them in the description. So go and see the doobly-doo and you can go and watch all the lists for yourself. We're just picking out 4 interesting ones for you. And sorry if we didn't pick your list. There were 40 of them. I mean, we can't cover everything. So here we go. I am going to share screen and here we go. So the first one that we agreed to talk about was Ian's. Here we go. So, and we picked this list because it is amazingly themed, right?
Yeah, it's hell on wheels, isn't it? It looks like a motorcycle gang. And they probably play it like that. So yeah. So you note straight away the platoon commander, he's got a buddy, and they're both on motorbikes.
Yep.
So that's unusual.
And then the Katschützen.
Yep, there you go, on their motorbikes, all 5 of them. And then the next one.
And the next one. Yep. So that was double Katschützen, and then we had.
And then here comes a bit of firepower for you, yeah.
With an engineer platoon here. Not mounted on motorbikes, I have to say. And I'm a little bit disappointed in the theme here. We needed those flame-throwing people to be on motorbikes. That would have been awesome.
If you could do it, I'm sure he would have.
Yeah, of course he would. So doubled assault pioneers, storm pioneers here. With flamethrower, lots of submachine guns.
Yeah,
and
this is a proper barbecue list, isn't it?
Yeah. And then look at this one here. This is one of those where last time me and Russell were on video here, we talked about how people started picking up Hanomag variants that were like slightly unusual. This is a 251/7C, which has a Panzerbusche covering the front arc. So it actually has some decent anti-tank options here.
If it gets in close, which it will, because presumably there'll be an officer in there, so the officer can snap to action and he can move the Hanomag. I'll call them Hanomags. Advance it up. It gets its shot off, and if the shot misses or doesn't work, he can jump out the engineers.
Yep.
And try and
the
burn
flamethrower team, because it's a 12-man transport.
So he's got that option as well. And he gets a +1 snap too, so he can throw 3 of them. So I'm pretty certain that will be the plan for that. And it's a good plan.
Really is, yeah.
They're a bit vulnerable afterwards.
The other version of this can actually outflank, or potentially you can just have it with a single unit of engineers in it.
Yeah, he's double of those.
Yeah, he definitely does. And then platoon 3 that's a Recce platoon.
Hey, look what we got again.
We've got the Katschützen again. And by the way, the platoon commander here on foot, because it needs to go in the second Hanomag. So he's got double flamer bomb.
He's worked out what he's doing with it, exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
And again, we have 2 loadouts here. One of
same again, aren't they?
Submachine guns, one with light machine guns, exactly the same as the first platoon. And then Kugelwagen with Recce, because a little bit of transport is nice.
And actually, go up, Bo. Sorry, go up. You say Kugelwagen with Recce.
Yep.
Is it the one with the machine gun? No, it's not. That's interesting.
No. It's just a transport. Maybe to throw an officer in it, or maybe you can have an officer and a flamethrower team,
Yeah, you've got options with it, yeah.
You've got options, yeah. And then the armored platoon here, it continues with the machine gun motorcycle.
Oh, I can't wait to see this.
It's insane.
It is a bit mad. I just hope it works.
Yeah.
As long as it's not against me. But but no, I really want to play it. it's just gonna be like swatting flies because those bikes can just pop up whenever they need to
Yeah.
and just run around. So yeah, it's just gonna look great as well. If
Yeah.
no pressure, Ian, on the
No
paint
pressure,
job on
but
this or anything.
that is
But
amazing. I mean, I wish that I wish I owned this army because all
yeah,
those
me too.
bikes, yeah,
Me too. Like I want to see it. I want to see it used.
yeah,
And also, I'm so tempted to build one now. Having seen it, I kind of really want one.
yeah, yeah. Me
It's
too.
and you know what, Bo? It's not just a kind of silly kind of list. I think it could have legs to it.
Yeah,
I do think on certain missions it is going to be hard to play against. So kill team missions it might struggle on,
yeah.
but on objective missions and stuff it could do really well.
It
So
really could.
because those
Yeah,
guys on bikes they're infantry, so they can
yeah,
grab objectives.
yeah.
Uh,
The problem is, of course, that the way that you shoot your weapons when you're on bikes is a little bit wonky, right?
mm.
And that is something that you need like to train a little bit with in order to make it sort of semi work.
Yeah, I wish bikes were cheaper as well. I think
Yeah,
5 points is just too much.
yeah,
3 points would have been nice, I think.
yeah.
But there you go.
I wish
But no,
they
that's
worked
a great
a little
list.
bit like cavalry does, where
Yeah.
like yeah, you can shoot your weapons, but you get a minus from like whatever. But yeah. Anywho, second list we're going to discuss is Jenny Kern's barbecue list.
Yeah, it's another German list.
Another
Again with some
German one.
flame in it,
Yeah.
but quite different.
So yeah, 20 order dice.
Mm.
Yeah. And I think if you are going to run barbecue, if you are going to run those flamer bombs, I think you need to be fairly high in order dice. Not like
Mm.
massively so, but just enough to skew the odds so that you sometimes get the first dice in a
Yeah,
turn.
yeah, you
Yeah.
definitely want that
Yeah.
mathematical advantage to get that
Yeah.
dice when you needed it.
Yeah.
If it's such a shame the intelligence officer is so expensive.
Yeah.
Because
Otherwise, that
otherwise,
would be
at
really,
25
really an
points, I'd probably
auto
take them.
include for this. Yeah.
Yeah, but at 50 points is ridiculous. You just never
Yeah.
see them.
Yeah.
And the failed gem armor, that's a good pick
Yeah.
because it gives him traffic direction, which
And
helps
that
him
traffic direction is
flanking or
actually very, very good, especially in V3, right?
yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
that could be really because the way flanking works now, where
yeah.
you can bring them on basically as a reserve unit if
Yeah.
need be, makes flanking a lot more useful.
A
You're
lot
not
more.
tied down onto one flank now.
Yeah.
You've got some ability to reverse courses as well. So
Yeah.
actually, flanking is probably something people need to look at as a strategy.
Yeah.
And Johnny's clearly doing it here. And traffic direction, good call, gives him
Very
a
good.
slight advantage of bringing them on. Only costs him 4 or 5 points. So I think
Mm.
it's extra 1 point per man on what they'd cost. And also, he's now got chain dogs to go with shirkers to make
Yep.
sure they behave themselves. So that could
Which
come
is
in
always
useful.
nice. Yeah. The AT rifle veteran, not how I run it, but you
No,
know,
he wants it to survive, I guess, and he
yeah,
appreciates it's going to be on its own. It's going to be vulnerable,
yeah.
so it gives him one up on the dice to
And here
survive.
comes the actual
Here it
firepower, the
is.
actual
Yeah.
like punching power of the list is the Storm Pioneers, right?
Mm.
Veteran Storm Pioneers, 3 riflemen, single flamethrower, and a Sturmpistole. So
You
the
don't see many of
Sturmpistole
those,
is
do you?
actually a +3 shape charge weapon, and that you can shoot multiple times, right?
Yeah, I believe
It's
so.
so it's not, it doesn't have the punching power of a Panzer Fist, but the Panzerfaust is a one-shot weapon. The Storm Pistol, you can just keep firing it.
Yeah, yeah, it's a good pickup. I think it combines well with the flamethrower because
Yeah,
if you're using the flamethrower as an anti-tank weapon, you've now got 2 anti-tank shots out of that unit.
yeah,
So it gives you a better chance of actually making sure they do the job.
yep,
And he's done that twice, I think. Oh yeah, there we go. You've got the second one up.
yep.
So he's got 2 of those doing that. It's a great little trick. They're veterans because they're going to get a pin after firing, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, okay, well that's fine. And there's the third one. Yeah.
That is
Is there a
so
fourth
much
one?
power. I mean,
I think there might be a
I
fourth one.
oh, how
Yeah.
he's going to weep when he runs out with all of these flamethrowers. But I mean, that is 4 engineer units with
Oh,
this
how can you
sort of
not
power.
love it?
That's wow.
Oh, it's a
He
lot of
needs
points.
transport for it, and
Here they
I'm
come.
guessing that he picks it up, and he does
Yeah.
so here. Because look at that, the Stummel is another of those Hanomag variants that is so good to pick up. Take it in your tank supports tank slot, and it's got an 8-man transport capacity. It's just with a forward-facing light howitzer and a pintle-mounted German machine gun.
And those pinwheels might be useful if he plays Americans as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then so he's got 4 of those to deliver them.
1,
So
2, 3, and 4. Yep.
yeah. So they can take 8 men. So in theory, they can take one of the, so one each.
Yep.
And then I think he's got 3 platoon commanders floating around that he can use.
Yep.
For some of them to really, he's got to be hard to play against with that. That could be really good. And then he's got this weird tank that I've never really seen before. I don't know if you've come across this.
No, I haven't. This was the first time. Panzer I Aus C, which got a squeeze bore experimental gun. So it's sort of
short
like
range, really good penetration, but long range rubbish. His army's so short range focused, though, isn't it?
Yeah, he really wants to get up there and
he's going to want to flank. He's going to really want to come into your sides.
Yeah.
So if you can keep him at distance somehow, but that's not going to be easy to do. No. Especially the way Johnny plays, he'll just run everything at you. And
the worst
in the
thing,
meantime, now I missed this when we did our overall summary. I forgot to include this list because it was one of the last ones in. So I'd forgotten that someone had after everything we said about Nebelwerfers, and no one's really lent into it. I forgot this list was out there because he's got, I think it's 4 of them. Oh my goodness.
He's got the officer here, which means that he has the 3rd officer, as you said, to put into some of those Stummels. And then he's got 1, 2, 3 Nebelwerfers, 4 Nebelwerfers, right, ready to go, and a horse-drawn limber.
I actually think that that's probably overkill. It's more than you need.
Yeah, a lot.
Because you're going to struggle to get good firing lines. Because he's got inexperienced ones. So they're not going to have spotters in play. Because you can take a spotter for another unit. And it's all silly, but you could take a spotter for another unit and use the spotter for the Nebelwerfer, which is maybe
only if you're regular. So yeah.
But if you're only really filthy, maybe you take 3 of them instead of 4. Put them in behind cover. You take 3 medium mortars. And there's definitely a way of being nastier with them. At least he's being a gentleman. So he's letting you have a shot at them. So if he wants to shoot at you, you can shoot at him.
Yeah. And if he takes away all his officers and puts them in the Stummels, then these are going to sit there and get pinned.
Yeah, so they're just going to drop. You know what? Knowing Johnny, and he's a fun player and he likes to have fun, it's not beyond the bounds that you might face him, line up and go, oh my goodness, look at this. And he starts snap to action. And instead of firing him, he drops smoke on you or does something like that. So you just can't see anything on the table. Yes. The flamethrowers come up. It wouldn't surprise me if he does something like that because it'd just be so funny.
Yeah.
I hope it's got a lot of cotton wool.
Good because all those smoke templates landing would block your line of sight, which would mean his flamethrowers could move up.
Yeah. So it'd be quite amusing I don't think smoke works very well. It never has done, sadly. But that would be fun. Yeah, am I looking forward to playing against that?
The other thing it does is it forces you to spread out, and what you don't want to do against flamer bombs is spread out because he's more mobile than you typically,
and pick you off in different areas. This is a very well built list. And I'm quite looking forward to seeing it. The only negative of it, I would say, tactically, is your 4 strike units need to be close.
Yeah.
Which means as soon as they're close, the Nebelwerfers are out of the game. So they can't support the Sturm Pioneer when they put the attacks in.
But that's when they start throwing out smoke.
Yeah. I guess so. But yeah, it'll be fair play. It'd be great to see him play it.
Right. Next list that we wanted to talk about is Mike. Here we go. And this is one of those Finnish lists.
Yeah, this is a different one though, isn't it?
It's very different. I'm not sure it's good. I just think it's very fun. 21 order dice. So the Finns are an order dice spam army now as well.
Yeah, as they always were.
As they always were. Everyone knows this, right? Veteran elite
course.
forces spamming order dice. So veteran commander with 2 extra guys. And then a bunch of these recon infantry, sissies, as they were called in the olden days. Master of the Hunt. They've got Panzerfausts now, and because Finns don't need their rifles anymore, so they've got machine guns. Everyone's got machine guns.
Yeah, I noticed that as well. 29 machine guns, I think, in the list.
Yeah, that's insane. Right. So he's got 3 of those. He's got an anti-tank rifle, veteran. He's got light mortar, veteran. And then captured Komsomolet, veteran. 19 points. Open top, unreliable. Yeah. 1, 2, 3.
Here we go.
4 of those. Right. So each one of his infantry units get one. His officer gets one that he can then share with the AT rifle.
Yeah.
And he basically copies that again.
Yep.
Because if you get a good thing, why not take it twice?
Yeah, rinse and repeat. Also, they've all got Panzerfaust. They've all got 1 Panzerfaust each, which is really important for this list.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't work otherwise. And again, another. So you can see what he's doing. He's basically got 8 veteran units with SMGs. They're all going to load up into those vehicles and just charge forward.
Yep.
And just cause chaos.
You know what he should do? He should have Ride of the Valkyries blasting on his phone as he goes up.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be really interesting to actually see it. I don't know if you noticed, but 1 or 2 of the units, they've got rifles instead of submachine guns. My guess is he ran out of SMG models.
Maybe he did. Maybe he did. Or did he run out of points? No, he didn't. But yeah, there's like 1 here who has a rifle and stuff. Yeah.
Maybe that's the guy with the Panzerfaust.
Yeah. Maybe that
might be what he's doing there. And it's quite funny because he's taking like light infantry, which give him Master of the Hunt, and he can't use it.
Yeah.
I don't because he's not got rifles. So I don't. You can see it's properly themed. He wanted to use recon infantry with a veteran commander, and so although people go, "Oh my God, look at that! He's got 8, T20s." Yeah, he has, but the army's themed, and there's a strategy there's a method to the madness.
Yeah,
I don't think it will work.
No, me neither. But it's going to
be fun to see. Yeah. Again, it's another one of those lists. It's got no reach.
No.
So if it's on a table with like a jungle table, it'd be horrible because it can just drive straight through the woodland, and they all jump out and from the other side. But on anything with a little bit of line of sight, it could get itself into trouble.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be fun to watch. Let's see what he does with it.
Yeah.
It's definitely got that interesting theme. I just wonder whether he's gone for summer or winter camouflage for the Finns.
Well, most people go for the winter, but the few summer guys I see, they're really cool.
Well, I like the summer ones.
Yeah.
Particularly if you're using armor, it's more theme.
Yeah.
But I also I wonder what infantry he's using because he's got all these things with SMG. So has he converted Russians? Because they're quite, I wouldn't say they're strict, but they do expect you to have properly themed units.
Yes.
So I don't think he'll turn up with just a bunch of Germans and go, "Oh no, they're Finns." I think that's unlikely.
Yeah.
But we will see. It's going to be fun.
Final list that we're going to look at is Paul Wicken's Americans, and this
British.
Brits. Yeah. And this is one of those where someone is going to waste half the game for the opponent. Paul, I see what you're doing.
I really hope he plays Johnny Curran's Nebelwerfers because shell the hell out of each.
Right. So so the idea here is to get as many artillery observers as you can. So
Yes.
he buys an officer with riflemen, 1, 2, and then the artillery observer. He puts extra dudes into the artillery observer just because,
yeah,
protect it.
because
And
it is going to be the number one target on the board, isn't it? Along with the others.
Yeah. Sniper
And that's
team
why the
also
snipers there.
to protect it. Yeah.
Yeah, there's very few snipers. He's brought a couple.
Yeah.
They're going to go forward and they will just try and take out anything that's threatening his artillery observers.
Yeah. And then what I'm seeing all the time, light AT rifle, double light mortars. Everyone's bringing this combo. And then second platoon is his armor. So he's got the Vickers MK, which a lot of people are bringing as well.
Yeah, it's another popular choice.
Yeah, it's cheap for a light autocannon. Yeah, I like it. 1, 2, 3, 4 of those. Was that?
Yep. They're mobile as well, so he can put down his pins and then move around.
Yeah. And then for cheap access to another artillery observer, he brings a recce platoon. So that is another platoon commander, an infantry section with a couple of submachine guns.
Yeah, that's like his assault. That's his assault one that he's going to use to try and take objectives.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily mean through close quarters. He will, when you've got your pins on you, and he'll probably try and move them up and clear you out.
And he has
again.
He has a truck for doing that, and then the artillery observer again with an extra man, just to have that little bit of survivability. Again, an AT rifle. I think he's also going to use the AT rifles as sort of a poor man's sniper to see if he can clear away anything that's threatening his artillery observers, right?
Yeah, definitely. That will help him. Gives him a bit more AT as well. He's very light on AT.
Yeah.
So the risk he's got is that on missions, or let's see the rest of the list, and then we can talk options.
So the final one is another infantry rifle section with a couple of 6-man rifles again. The artillery observer. This one has got
his own. Yeah,
it's on his own. So that's the most vulnerable one.
What's interesting there, Bo, he's made a deliberate decision because he's got one with 3, one with 2, one with 1. So I'm assuming the one with 3 goes in the most vulnerable position. Yeah, and that's what he's thinking. First. Because why not just go for all 3 of them with 2 men? And he's decided one of them's going to have 3 men. And Paul wouldn't, he clearly would have thought through why he wants to do that. Yeah. And I'm guessing that's what it is.
I think he's thinking about how you deploy infiltrators, right? Because you pull them out of the bag and then, okay, it's my turn. I don't want to deploy my artillery observers. Well, I plucked out the one that's the most secure, the 3-man unit, and then keep the 1-man unit back. I think that's why he's doing it.
I think that's it. And it's clever. It's him, rather than just kind of cookie cut, he's working out how he wants to play them.
Yeah. And then final unit is another sniper. So that is 5 infiltrators he's got. That should be enough, unless he runs into Soviet scouts. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, you're right. The Russian list could cause him problems because they can get in his face quickly. But again, he will place his snipers really well. And the snipers are there they're there for counter sniper fire, which isn't really needed because no one takes snipers at the moment.
Yeah.
But they will clear out other spotters and stuff like that. So they're quite useful. And then they're another dice, and they kind of fit with what he's doing. Yeah. The problem this list has, I think, is on missions where you can flank. Yeah. So you can put half your army off the table and go, okay, look, bring in your artillery. I know you're going to hurt me with it, and I'll wait. The second issue with artillery is with six of them. He, in theory, can bring in a couple of shots. Well, if he wants, he can do 3 shots in 1 round, or he could go 2, 2, 2, and just constantly keep pinning you. Yeah. So the aim may not be to destroy units outright. It just stops you playing with them. Yeah. So you can't actually use units for the entire game.
And we know for Rollcall, you only have 2 hours and 15 minutes, and he is going to try and waste your time where potentially you only get 5 turns. You're going to waste 3 of those.
Oh no, I don't think he will actually, Bo. I think it'll do the opposite.
Okay.
They want to make sure he uses them all. And to get full value, he want all 6 turns. And Paul's a quick player anyway. So actually, I think he's not going to sit back and... No, he wants 6 turns, I think, because of the way he plays.
Okay.
So So yeah, that would be my guess. But that's based on knowing him as a player, not the list more than anything.
Yeah.
It is going to be there's certain lists that if they're moving up on him really quickly, he's going to have an issue with dealing.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll win with this list, but he's gonna give a couple of people a very bad day.
I think, like, looking at some of the, like, Johnny Curran's list or Mike's Finnish list that are going to push very, very quickly into his face, he might struggle against that. Just because he hasn't really got anything that can counterpunch. He has his light autocannons, but that's it.
Yeah, and that's like he will struggle against some of the tank lists unless he can pin them. So if I've got the mouse, like the mouse or the Pershing list, so the US Pershing list, and you've got traffic direction, that Pershing is going nowhere near the table until round 3 when I want it.
Exactly.
And then it will come in from the sides and try and cause absolute chaos.
Yeah.
But again, that's mission dependent. You might not have a mission that lets you do that. So that will be the thing with this list. It will work really well with some missions, terrible for others. So that's good. So that's the 4. The only other one I would have maybe thought. Did you ever look at Gary Morgan's list, his Finnish list? And I know we said we weren't going to look at more than one Finnish list.
Well, we can.
But that's he's done it differently.
That's a more classical, new style Finnish list, right?
With a slight twist. Yeah, with a slight twist. Because I was just thinking about lists I think can win it, and I said to you earlier, Gary Morgan's the one I would pick.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, how would he deal with Paul's list, for example, or Alex Bunduck's list, which is the 10. So
Gary is running, of course, the cheap Finns, but he's running a barbecue version of it.
It's a barbecue version. Like, look at that, the flamethrowers.
So he's got the LMGs and the regular infantry. He's got a company commander, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 flamethrowers in an engineer platoon. That's a lot of power.
Oh, I love it.
Wow. He's got a truck with recce, and then he's got 3 Postuna tanks to deliver all those pins so the engineers can go in and kill you. And then he's got all the comsomolets he could ever need.
With the flamethrowers. Yeah. So again, and 24 dice as well. So he's used his list.
Wow.
So that one there will be fun. Can you imagine that we're fighting Johnny's list?
Oh, yeah. It's a question of who gets the order dice first. Everyone snaps 2s and kills everyone else.
Yeah, definitely. How it runs against, say, like Paul Wickens will be very mission dependent.
Yeah.
And we should mention as well, we're talking about Paul, Johnny Ferg, who's coming all the way down from Scotland. He has used the same concept as Paul. In fact, Johnny used it before Paul, I believe. Yeah. So if anything, it's Johnny's idea, and that's the idea of using three foos. I think Johnny was doing it in version. In fact, I know he was doing it in vern 2. So he must be over the moon.
Because I remember having reviewed Johnny's forward artillery observer lists, and he was I think all the way back in when we were at WTC Cork, he was running something like that. So
I reckon he must have been involved in writing the rules, because they got cheaper and they get two shots now. So he probably could not believe it when he saw that. I bet when he opened that rule book and saw them, and I bet he went straight to them. He must have known them.
Right, that was it from us today. To everyone going to roll call, good luck, and to you as well, Russell. Good luck.
Yeah, thanks, Bo. Yeah, I'll need it again.
Your Japanese are going to have to survive all of that.
If I could dig and make tunnels like they did, I might be all right. But sadly, I'm not allowed to do that.
Right. That's it. We'll see you next time. Cheers.